Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into a powerful personal story one of you shared.
Yeah, it's quite the account. A listener, Victoria, shared this incredibly raw story about family, um, betrayal, romance gone wrong.
Exactly. And it's not just about the heartbreak. There are some twists, but it's also really about resilience. Our mission here is to unpack it all.
Right. And we have her firsthand perspective, which is key. It starts with this picture she paints of her family.
Is really close-knit, built on loyalty, love, especially after losing her dad.
That initial setup is so important, isn't it? That baseline of trust makes everything that happens later, well, just devastating. It really sets the stage for the impact.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning of her story. Victoria and Adam.
Her first love, met in college. She thought they were heading for marriage.
And by her account, he seemed like the perfect guy, handsome, funny, caring.
Seemed totally devoted to her. And her mom even seemed to approve, right?
Yeah, that's a big piece. Her mother often told Victoria how lucky she was to have Adam. That adds another layer entirely.
Oh, definitely. That maternal validation, it anchors her view of the relationship. Makes it harder to see warning signs, maybe.
And it makes the mother's later actions. Well, we'll get to that.
It certainly raises questions about motivations down the line.
Now, interestingly, Victoria mentions her younger sister, Emily. Around Adam, Emily was apparently pretty quiet.
Reserved. Uninterested, maybe.
That's how Victoria saw it. But she trusted Emily completely, so it didn't ring any alarm bells for her. Just Emily being Emily.
Which really shows how trust can create these blind spots, cognitive bias almost. You interpret things based on that existing trust.
Yeah, she just assumed disinterest, nothing more.
Until that dinner, the one that changed everything.
Right. Victoria describes this really tense atmosphere. Emily's fidgeting, can't make eye contact.
You can almost feel the awkwardness.
And then, bam, her mother drops this bombshell. Suggests Adam would be a great match for Emily.
For Emily, wow.
Yeah. Saying Emily was younger and sort of implying Victoria's career focus meant she should step aside.
Whoa, that framing is something else.
Yeah.
Using her career against her.
It's quite a statement.
You have to wonder about the underlying family dynamics there, or maybe some preconceived notions about roles.
Absolutely. And Victoria's reaction? Total shock. Emily goes white as a sheet. Adam. He looks confused, but Victoria catches this tiny hesitation.
That hesitation could be key.
For Victoria, that moment was it. The foundation just crumbled. Her whole world shifted.
You can see why. The shock, the betrayal, all hitting at once. And those nonverbal cues, Emily's reaction, Adam's pause, they speak volumes, don't they?
They really do. Emily's paleness could be guilt, maybe. Adam's hesitation hinting at something already there.
It certainly plants that seed of doubt.
And things moved incredibly fast after that dinner.
Like suspiciously fast.
Within weeks, Adam and Emily were officially a couple, then boom, engaged.
Wow. That's
Do it.
Victoria, understandably, just pulled back, poured herself into work, tried to create distance.
A self-protection mechanism. Totally understandable. When you feel that powerless, you try to control what you can. But family gatherings continued. She couldn't totally escape.
Oh, that must have been agony. Seeing them together, especially with the mother apparently championing the new couple.
Right. Imagine the emotional whiplash. Feeling like an outsider in your own family.
It really highlights how one person's choices can just send these painful ripples outwards. Terrible for Victoria.
Then, fast forward a bit, there's another dinner, this one shortly before the wedding.
More tension, I'm guessing?
Thick with it. Victoria said Adam and Emily seemed guilty, tense. Her mother avoided her gaze.
Avoidance. Another sign.
Emily apparently mumbled some kind of apology, but Victoria was just numb, couldn't even respond emotionally.
Understandable. Too much had happened.
But it was around this time her intuition really started screaming. Something felt off.
Ah, so.
About Adam and Emily. It seemed, quote, too perfect, too convenient. That gut feeling.
Ah, that intuition. It's often right, isn't it? Picking up on things that don't quite add up.
She felt like Emily hadn't just stolen her boyfriend after the fact. It felt like something more.
So she started digging.
Yeah. She reached out to some mutual friends, trying to piece things together.
Yeah.
And a friend, Jessica, dropped the real bombshell.
Oh.
Adam and Emily had been seeing each other for months. Months before Victoria and Adam even broke up.
Oh, no. So the dinner wasn't the start.
Not even close. It was part of a cover-up, maybe. And the worst part, her mother knew the whole time.
The mother knew. Wow. That takes the betrayal to a whole different level.
Yeah.
Complicit.
It changes everything. It wasn't just a sudden switch. It was planned deception involving her sister, her boyfriend, and her mother.
The depth of that.
Mm.
Incredible. You have to wonder why the mother would be involved.
We don't get a clear answer on the why, but the what is devastating. Then Victoria found proof.
What kind of proof?
Social media, an old photo from months before the breakup, Adam and Emily looking very close at a party.
Oof, the digital trail.
And the caption was something like, "The best nights are spent with the ones who matter most." Sickening in hindsight.
That just cements the timeline, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Undeniable proof of the affair and the lies. No more room for doubt.
Exactly. So, armed with this, she confronted them separately by phone.
How did that go?
Emily was guarded at first, eventually admitted she loved Adam, but used that classic line, "I never wanted to hurt you."
Ah, the standard deflection. Minimizing her actions.
Victoria wasn't having it, rejected the excuse flat out.
Good for her. And Adam.
Adam sounded regretful, apparently, but just gave this vague excuse about being confused.
Confused. That's weak. Underwhelming accountability.
Victoria thought so too. She just shut it down. Cold dismissal. End of contact.
Wow. So she cut them both off. Decisive. Shows her strength starting to emerge, maybe. Refusing to accept those poor excuses.
I think so. Of course, there was hurt, anger, disbelief first. That's natural.
Absolutely. A period of intense pain.
But she didn't stay stuck there. She consciously started rebuilding, focused on work, her hobbies, writing, yoga.
Leaning into things that brought her joy and strength. And hopefully supportive friends.
Yes, definitely leaned on her friends. That active self-care, seeking healthy connections, that's crucial after trauma like this.
It really is. Reclaiming your sense of self.
And then we hear about Luke.
A new relationship.
Yes, a new guy, Luke. And the way Victoria describes it, it sounds healthy, built on respect, genuine connection, a real contrast.
That's wonderful. Finding that possibility again after so much pain. It shows healing is possible and highlights what she now knows she needs: respect, honesty.
Things clearly missing before, and apparently Emily tried to apologize again later.
Oh. Did Victoria engage?
No, she recognized she needed distance, boundaries, keeping toxic relationships at arm's length.
That's incredibly important. Self-preservation, especially with family. Setting boundaries can be tough, but sometimes necessary for well-being.
It really shows her growth, her commitment to her own healing.
So how does the story wrap up?
It ends about a year later, Victoria's birthday. She is celebrating not with family, but with close friends and Luke.
Ah, a picture of her new reality, new beginnings.
Exactly. It feels like a moment of peace, a testament to her resilience.
That's a powerful image. Despite everything, she found her way through it, found strength, found happiness again.
So when we boil this all down, what are the big takeaways from this deep dive?
Well, first, the sheer destructive power of betrayal in those closest relationships, family, partners. It underscores how vital trust really is.
Absolutely fundamental, but also, maybe even more so, it's about resilience, right? The capacity to heal.
Definitely. Victoria's journey wasn't just about the deception. It was about her finding her strength, rediscovering herself, and ultimately building healthier connections.
It's quite the transformation from that initial shock and pain to peace.
And it makes you think, doesn't it, about how complex family dynamics can be. That tension between loyalty and personal desire or hidden agendas.
How a unit that seems so solid can be fractured by individual choices.
Yeah, and it poses a question for you listening. How do we navigate broken trust? What does Victoria's path tell us about healing, about forgiveness, or even just about finding peace without forgiveness sometimes?
That's a great point. Does healing always require forgiveness, or sometimes just distance and acceptance?
Different paths for different people, I suppose.
This whole account gives us so much to think about regarding our own relationships, how we handle betrayal, and the strength we might find when tested.
It really does. We hope you take some time to reflect on these themes: trust, betrayal, resilience, and how they might resonate in your own life.